Sociopathy. Psychos, sickos, geniuses, and apathetic sadists in society. By Christian Lopez. Narrated by Michael Edwards. Introduction. Psychopathy and sociopathy are two personality disorders commonly linked to serial killers or criminals. In truth, however, there is so much more to psychopaths and sociopaths than meets the eye. In this book, you will find out the true nature of this condition and the people who have it. By the end of this book, you should have a clear grasp of what causes psychopathy and what are the clear indicators that a person is a psychopath. More importantly, this book will teach you how to prevent being manipulated by one. Chapter 1. What and who is a psychopath? Psychopaths have gotten lots of attention over the years, but very little information today is accurate. Considered as a personality disorder, psychopaths are often seen as cold-blooded serial killers, or those who have the potential to become serial killers. This is not surprising considering how one of our most popular serial killers today, Ted Bundy, is dubbed as a psychopath. Still, others may argue he's a sociopath instead. Psychopaths versus sociopaths. These two terms are often interchangeable, but there's actually a marked difference between them. While the science is still not exact, studies have narrowed down distinctions among these two. As to cause, it is generally accepted that psychopaths are born and not made. It is seen as a genetic trait, pursuant to a Minnesota study about the condition. In contrast, sociopaths are made and not born. Sociopath tendencies usually occur due to environmental factors that severely impact a person's mindset. It can be anything from the early loss of parents to rejection by a loved one. As to education, while the condition is not indicative of intelligence, psychopaths typically have a good career and are well educated. In contrast, sociopaths are typically unable to hold down a steady job. It is also unlikely that they have reached tertiary education. Of course, there are certain exceptions to this. As to conscience/empathy, psychopaths are generally accepted to have no conscience and lack empathy. This is perhaps the most defining characteristic of a psychopath. In contrast, a sociopath has little empathy. They have a conscience, but it is not exercised greatly. As a result, psychopaths form no attachments, although they may act like they do, while sociopaths form little attachments to certain groups or individuals. As to behavior, psychopaths exercise excellent control in their own person and try to extend this to their surroundings. They are known to be highly manipulative, as opposed to sociopaths that suffer from erratic behavior. Sociopaths are more likely to be aggressive and violent. As to crime, note that being a psychopath/sociopath is not tantamount to being a criminal. Those who do fall into a life of crime, however, tend to follow a general pattern for their acts. Psychopaths are meticulous and plans ahead, taking calculated risks and ensuring that the evidence is minimized, if not wiped clean entirely. Sociopaths are more out of control and tend to commit violent and physical crimes. Nowadays, psychopaths are more geared towards organized crime, fraud schemes, and the like. Psychopath versus narcissist. Many people make the mistake of using these two terms interchangeably. There's actually a marked difference between the two in that all psychopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are psychopaths. Narcissism is a personality disorder recognized by the DSM-5, or the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. It is characterized by a grandiose sense of self-importance and a need for excessive admiration from others. Narcissists may also lack empathy and believe that they are entitled to many things in life, even if they don't necessarily work for the same. Narcissists often fantasize about holding extreme amounts of money, power, control, beauty, success, and so on. They believe that they are unique and thus deserve to be looked up to by others. A narcissist is not necessarily a psychopath, since some of the characteristics of the psychopath may not be present in a narcissist. However, narcissism is an essential characteristic of a psychopath. The degree of narcissism also matters. Psychopaths often fall within the extreme scale of self-grandiosity, while some narcissists are not as excessive in their belief of self-importance. Psychopath versus anti-personality disorder. Despite the apparent popularity of
Sample complete. Ready to continue?